from PS48. Today I'm going to be showing you how to answer short response questions. This is a highly requested video, and I'm sorry I took so long to give it out to you guys, but hopefully this helps. Miss Adams is going to be helping me, so this is going to be a voiceover, and you're going to be looking at the smart board while I narrate for you what's going on.
And we're going to use R.A.F.T in order to organize our writing and complete our short responses.
So how a short response works usually is that you start with a story and you read the story. What you would want your child to do is to annotate, think through the story, make notes, number each paragraph if that wasn't done for them. One example is you can ask your child, how does a character feel at this point during the story? What does this word mean? I can model for you with this sentence right here where it says, the skater got up and mumbled sorry and sped off around the corner. You can ask your child, what do you think the word mumbled mean? And they can underline that word. So then your child needs to think about what's going on. How would that situation occur? Oh, mumble means that they're like rambling their words. The words are not getting out clearly, and they did it pretty quickly. Also, if I go down to paragraph 7, just pretend that I read through the entire text. It says, when we got to the apartment, we plopped down on the chairs in the kitchen. You can also ask your child, what does it mean to plop down? Think about if they fell, their mom's present broke, and they plopped means to like drop really hard. So you want to do some vocabulary analysis. You also want to write on the side just little notes about what's happening in each paragraph. So now we're going to skip ahead to R.A.F.T and answering the question. Today's question says, how does paragraph 13 connect to paragraph 28? Give 2 details from the text to support your answer and use R.A.F.T. What does R.A.F.T mean? R means to restate. A means to answer the question. F means for example, and you have to give 2 examples. And T means to tie it all on. So that's R.A.F.T. If we're going to go back now to the answering the question, how do I do this? Now you look for the key words in the question itself. Well, it's asking me, how does paragraph 13 connect to paragraph 28? Ask your child to underline the important part of the question, the part that they're going to restate. So your restate and your answer are basically connected. They can do it in one sentence. So I can say, well, before I even say anything, I'm going to go back to the text and I'm going to reread paragraph 13. I thought about how mom had been before the divorce. She used to joke around and laugh a lot. Now she had a deep worry line between her eyes and hardly ever smiled. That's paragraph 13. Have your child talk through what's going on. Well, in this paragraph, mom is, this is a character reflecting. This is a word that you could write here because this is not actually happening in the story right now. The character is reflecting and they're thinking about how their mom used to be in the past. This word deep worry lines means that she's unhappy and she's thinking a lot. And this is all happening because she had a divorce. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to skip to paragraph 28 where it says, Mom looked at us and smiled. It was a quiet smile at first, but it grew big and bright. Now you're going to think about what's going on here. Well, they just gave mom the present and now mom is happy. But you don't want to use baby words like happy. So maybe mom is feeling joyful. Or mom is pleased. Because if you're pleased, then you will be smiling. Have your child take notes.
This is annotating when you write on the text.
Great.
You're thinking.
So now I want you to then take it a little step further, and I want you to have your child write a claim and evidence. Your claim is an inference. An inference is something that the text does not say, but you're thinking about what's happening in the story, and because you're using those thinking to help you now make an inference about what's happening. You're also going to do evidence. Remember, F means for example, and you need to give 2 examples. Your examples are your evidence. So let me think. How does paragraph 13 connect to paragraph 28? Well, in paragraph 13, mom she's really sad. She had a divorce. She has worry line across her face. She's really feeling depressed. Over in paragraph 28, her kids gave her a present. She's happy. She's joyful. Oh, these 2 things are connected because they show how mom's feelings have changed. So now I'm going to go back into my claim. Paragraphs, and you have to use the words that you see in the questions. So paragraph 13 connects to paragraphs 28 because it shows that mom's feelings have changed or has changed. And then I can take it a step further. I can say, well, you can say, how do you know? In paragraph 13, mom was unhappy, but in paragraph 28, she is smiling, which means she is happy. And then you can have your child reread to see if this makes sense. Paragraph 13 connects to paragraph 28 because it shows that mom's feelings has changed. In paragraph 13, mom is unhappy. Here, you can clarify. How do you know mom is unhappy? Well, because she had worry lines across her face. So you can make your child add that. And this is my sloppy copy. You'll make sure that you rewrite. So now you're going to go back into the text to write your evidence. So I'm going to go back to paragraph 13. And it says, she used to joke around a lot. Now she has deep worry line between her eyes and hardly ever smiled. So I'm going to write that down. She used to joke around a lot. Now she has deep worry lines between her eyes and hardly ever smiles. What's important is that you need to talk about both paragraphs because they're asking you for both paragraphs. So I already accounted for paragraph 13. Maybe here I can write paragraph 13. Here I'm going to write paragraph 28. Just so your answer is going to be cohesive. So paragraph 28, mom looked at us and smiled. It was a quiet smile at first, but it grew big and bright. Mom looked at us and smiled. It was a quiet smile at first, but it grew big and bright. And parents, even though for your homework, it doesn't say draw this claim and evidence chart, I want you to draw this claim and evidence chart because it really helps your child to think about what they're writing and to make sure that their evidence really supports their claim. And this is just a way to help them think more before starting to write. And all good writers think first and then they write after. So now I'm gonna go back and I'm going to write my RAFT. R and A is restate and answer. I already have it right here, my claim. I'm literally going to copy my claim for my restate. Paragraphs 13 connects.
Please indent. We want to teach our students that they have to have an indent in the beginning of their paragraph.
So indent means that you use 2 finger space to start your writing.
And then when you go to the next line, it goes back to where the line begins. You can also think of a restate as a complete sentence. We don't want to start sentences with because that's not proper. So we want to teach the students that they have to take part of the question and put it into their sentence in order to make it complete. Also, at the top of this page, it has the R.A.F.T. that Ms. Scott wrote down on her paper. That's like a checklist the kids can use to mark off which parts of RAFT they have completed. If you're not too familiar or you don't necessarily care for the word RAFT, a paragraph is what we're working towards. So they're writing a complete paragraph, and they want to make sure they have all the evidence that they need to support the answer or their claim. So paragraph 13 connects to paragraph 28 because it shows that mom's feelings has changed. So that's your restate and your answer. Then in paragraph 13, mom was unhappy because she had worry lines on her face. But in paragraph 28, she is smiling, which shows or means she is happy.
Or you might not want to say happy, you might want to say something like joyful.
Yes, so trying to get
3rd grade words.
A little more complex with the writing and the vocabulary.
Notice that my restate talks about both paragraph 13 and paragraph 28, which I just copied my claim. Now that I did that, put a check mark, you're done. Now you're going to explain your evidence. You can use transition words such as For example, on page blank, it states the author says, for example, based on the text, according to the text, this proves because these words help for students to transition in their writing, and it also helps them to prove their thinking and to show their thinking. So I'm going to continue. So I can say, for example, and now I'm going to talk about my first claim. You can have your child highlight their first claim. Mom was unhappy.
So they need to have the evidence to explain how they know mom was unhappy. That was based off of the text. And the text didn't necessarily say that the character was unhappy. They're telling the reader this feeling or emotion through their actions. So I'm going to go back to where it says in paragraph 13, mom was unhappy because she had worry lines on her face. But in paragraph 28, she is smiling, which means she is joyful. For example, mom was unhappy in paragraph 13 because according to the text, she used to joke around a lot. Now she has deep worry lines.
So now my question is, so what? So what is, this shows, this proves that mom is unhappy.
And then the last part of the RAF would be the tie-up. So once you have all your evidence and you've made your claim, you want to then also tie up your writing with a conclusion.
Well, before we get to our tie-up, I want you to notice that I explained the first part of my claim. I'm not done yet. I need to go to my second part of my claim. So I'm going to put a check here to say that I'm done with that one. I'm going to go to another transition word. Another example is